Warning, the Stone Age Gamer includes a lot of bad language. Cover your mother ears.
Good evening and welcome to the Stone Age Gamer Podcast. I am Kris Randazzo and joining me tonight is What Nintendo Don't, Dan Ryan.
I certainly don't.
November is here, and as we say goodbye to the spooky season, we must also uphold our promise to create starter kits for various platforms. How many copies of Crew Ball should you buy? Break out your 6-button controllers because the Stone Age Gamer Podcast starts now.
Every single copy.
Just stack them all up, man.
Like cordwood, I think is the appropriate term. I don't know, I'm not a hick, Kris.
Hi, everyone. There's your episode.
I wear a lot of flannel, but I'm not. I just, This
is episode 383. It's the week of November 5th, 2021. And we are here because the outside world rejects us.
Fuck that. I reject the outside world.
This is your family. I am your father. So we were talking earlier that we're probably just going to skip the pleasantries this week and get right down to business.
I played Genesis games this past week.
Yeah, I actually did too. I did them on a Nintendo Switch Online a little bit though. That was
that's fun.
That's pretty.
How's
fun.
That working?
It's great. I don't have any problems with it. I'm not playing anything online, so it doesn't really matter.
Sure. Well, sure. Sure.
I've been playing a decent chunk of Dr. Mario 64 on there. Just try to play like one level of the story mode every night.
That's fun.
Yeah, I don't think I've done a whole lot else. I was on, so we had Evan and Angie's wedding over the weekend.
Yeah,
yeah.
What an extravagant motherfucking thing that. No, I'm just kidding. It was lovely.
Yeah, it was genuinely fantastic.
It really was. Like, Tiff and I were driving home going like, that was a really good fucking wedding. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. I've been to weddings before where it's like, oh, this didn't fucking work at all, did it?
Yeah, there's a lot of weddings you go to. They're just like, well, this is fine, and you can.
This is okay.
This is okay.
This was lovely.
It was very them. They had, pretty much what they wanted to do, and that's always, you can always really tell when that comes through. It was a very love-filled wedding. There was very little in the way of doing this because we have to. It was just
right.
They did everything they wanted to do, and it was just wonderful to be a part of. It was so good to be there.
It really was. Tiff made an amazing cake.
She did. It was delicious and purple.
I have to toot my wife's horn.
Yeah.
Because this is a family show. Toot something else later, if you know what I'm saying.
I specifically told the Discord that I was going to avoid talking about your genitals today, Dan.
How could you? How could you tell them that when you had no idea? And actually, when you had a really good idea that it was going to get back to my nether region, Kris. It's just... it's a wedding. You're like setting up the people that are already married for like the most average 48 seconds that they're ever going to experience. This is what. You have no idea what I've got in store for you. Anyway, that's the whole thing. No, it was beautiful. Tiff made a great cake. We got to see everybody. And then Evan and Angie aren't here tonight. So like we're just flying solo, which is kind of bullshit. And is making me question their dedication to the show a little bit.
just a tad.
A tad.
They were a little busy. We were
again. They got married. It's not about them anymore. That was Saturday. What have you done for me today? It's really what I'm asking.
Oh my goodness. I think I restarted Metroid Dread while we were at the hotel. Because I brought John's Switch, which is like he's set up as the primary.
Right.
But then I downloaded a bunch of, my games onto it before we left, not realizing that since it's John's system, if he's not the one who downloaded them, for me to play them on the system, it has to do a quick check-in on the internet to just be like, oh, just making sure you're good. Which is, I don't know if it's bullshit or not. Whatever. I feel like it kind of is. PlayStation does the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Like, and I think Xbox does as well. I'm just not familiar with the ecosystem.
Yeah, I don't
like,
usually take
get
my PlayStation and Xbox other places, you know.
No, no, they're pretty stationary consoles. But yeah, like I kind of get it from like a, you know, you don't want to sell this game once and then distribute a bunch of copies to it. But at the same time, like, I don't know, man, it's just a little weird.
Yeah, so it's like the hotel had such shitty Wi-Fi unless you paid for it that I couldn't get a decent enough connection to verify the damn game, so I couldn't play more Axiom Verge. I was like, well, I brought the Metroid cart, so let's just do that. And so I did. I started up a fresh game of Metroid Dread, and it was really fun. And I did get some more Axiom Verge time in on Halloween though, because I stay home while Karen takes the kids out trick or treating, and I stayed. I sat by the fire pit in my front yard, gave out candy, and played a bunch of Axiom Verge, and ate a Tombstone pizza.
It's very exciting. It's so apropos.
Oh, it wasn't a Tombstone. It was a DiGiorno, because my local ShopRite doesn't sell Tombstones anymore.
Really?
I wonder if they stopped making them.
I don't know.
Tombstone pizza still a thing?
I've never really enjoyed them. But
really? I love Tombstone pizzas. I mean,
they still
have a website where to buy. Yep, Tombstones are still out there. I love Tombstone pizzas.
I don't know, man. Like, I just growing up in New Jersey, you know, it's like that's not pizza.
No, it's not pizza. It's Tombstone. It's like Elio's. Yeah, it's its own thing.
Yeah, Tiff is very similar. She's like, I want Papa John's. I'm like, well, why are we fucking getting pizza from Papa John's? Like, and it's the same conversation every time. I want Papa John's. I want that fucking pizza. She said, I didn't want pizza. I want Papa John's.
Exactly. I didn't say pizza. I said Papa John's. Somebody was talking, one of the groomsmen was talking about Domino's when we were out there. I was like, man, I haven't eaten that trash in a long time. That actually sounds good.
No, it doesn't. We did that like a month and a half ago or whatever. Tiff was like, I think I'm going to order from Domino's because our Papa John's is very disappointing around here. It's Papa John's.
Generally,
it's just disappointing. Yeah.
Like as soon as you think about, the human Papa John.
Yeah. It's him and Rick Schroeder right there in the, did you see that shit today?
No. What happened to Rick Schroeder?
Ricky Schroeder is calling for militias to please muster on Veterans Day at your local post office and overthrow your government. Like, fuck you, Rick Schroeder. You fucking douchebag. Nobody cares about you. You're not going to be out there, you silver spoon twat. Get the fuck out of here. It's ridiculous.
Jesus.
Oh, God, just made me angry. Like, stop it. Who are you? You don't have a following. And then apparently Kristy Swanson is an asshat as well.
Who? Kristy
Swanson, the original Buffy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's big time trumpet. She's apparently in the hospital. She tweeted out, she was like, the staff at the Virtua here in Mount Holly, New Jersey is wonderful. I'm here with COVID-related pneumonia. And like then just went on a fucking batshit tirade. It was really weird. Anyway, I was like, cool, you're in Mount Holly. I'm going to come over there and flick you in the nose for being dumb, making a shitty Buffy movie. What were we talking about? Fuck, I remember what we were talking about. Rick Schroeder just made me so angry. God damn it.
Well, we were going to talk about Sega Genesis games.
That's what we were going to talk about. We went from Evan's wedding to Rick Schroeder back to Sega Genesis.
Yeah, we were going to talk about just running through the quick stuff that we had done. And you said you played Genesis games. I played Metroid, Axiom Verge. I got a Mario Party in the mail like a day or two early, and it's very fun. I like it.
Is it good?
I mean, with the kids, I would never ever play this in a situation with
on your own,
other adults or on my own. This is like, I mean, maybe with other adults, maybe, but there's so many better things to play with other adults in the room. But like,
oh yeah,
us and the kids, it's a very well made game. It's very old Mario Party. We messed because we were going through the older games.
Right.
And we got to the GameCube ones. Like, well, this shit just got confusing.
What are we even doing here?
It's very much like ridiculous. The first 3 Mario Parties, pretty straightforward, and I liked it. But anyway, Sega Genesis games. So every month, Dan and I create the Stone Age starter kits, where we basically it's just a fun exercise because we all know that there are better and more efficient ways to play old video games out there. including stuff sold on our very site, stoneagegamer.com. But
That's right.
For the interest of making good conversation, suppose you had a Sega Genesis console and every accessory you could possibly need, and you had $100 to start a physical collection. What games would you pick? So, Dan and I both came up with our lists, and we're ready to discuss them today. And I'm going to do so in alphabetical order. Now, you said you had 8, and I wound up with 9. So we'll do our first 4, we'll take a break, and then we'll come back and finish it off.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how many repeats we have, because there's going to be a few on here.
For sure. Yeah.
I would imagine.
I would also imagine. I don't know, man. I don't know. I really don't know what we're going to make of these lists, but I'll kick us off. I'll go ahead and start things.
Please do.
Starting us off at $12, just an absolute must-have on any list, the 12-pack. The 6-pack, not the 12-pack. It was $12. The 6-pack, which is, I mean, just such a ridiculous value. It's one Genesis cartridge with Golden Axe, the first Sonic the Hedgehog, Columns, Revenge of Shinobi, Streets of Rage, and Super Hang-On on it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't put it on my list, and I don't really have a good reason why, other than it would have put me over by a couple of bucks. Because I actually my list, I think, ended up at $95. And I could, I really wanted to put the fucking stupid Pac-Man game on there just because I had to play it, so somebody else should too.
Which stupid Pac-Man game?
Pac-Land, the New Adventure 2, whatever the
oh god,
awful one was. That one was like $5. I was like, I could do this to somebody.
There was a Pac-Man game almost made my list.
Yeah, no, I ended up at $95. So, yeah, no, that's an outstanding choice. I mean, yeah.
I mean, really, it's
really hard to argue with those.
That alone is such a great starter kit for the Genesis, you know? I mean, Sonic, Golden Axe, arcade classic, done pretty decent justice on the Genesis. Sonic 1 is kind of like the quintessential Sega Genesis game. Columns gets your puzzle games covered. It's not as good a game as Dr. Robotnik's Mean Machine, but it is a pretty decent puzzle game. Revenge of Shinobi is Revenge of Shinobi. You know, more arcade action. Streets of Rage, come on. Streets of Rage is outstanding, and, you know, the sequels are pretty gosh dang expensive. And Super Hang-On is pretty good, too.
Yeah, Super Hang-On's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. You'll see as I go through my my list here, I think you'll see why that didn't make the cut for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I will start with my first game, and that would be the Genesis version of Aladdin at $9.
All right. Yeah, that just barely didn't make my list as well.
It's just one of those, it's so quintessential of that era.
Yeah.
Right? Like the argument back and forth, the Lion King, the Aladdin game, Super Nintendo, Genesis, which one, blah, 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 back and forth. This game's great. It's great. And this made my list over Lion King. I probably could have squeezed that on here, but I didn't go with Lion King because that game's fucking infuriating.
Yeah, and Aladdin Lion King's pretty much the same across, Super Nintendo and Genesis. Aladdin was a very specifically Genesis experience, the Capcom Super Nintendo game was a very different game.
Very different.
And this one just had such a uniquely Genesis feel to it. It really played to the strengths of the platform. It's a really good pick.
Yeah, it played really well, looked fucking great.
Yeah, it did.
Sounded really good for a Genesis game, I
have got to get this. I've got a full screen of the Tombstone Pizza website on my other screen, and I just looked over to grab a glass of water, and I looked up, I was like, I want to eat an entire Tombstone Pizza right now. I have to close this window immediately. I'm so hungry. I shouldn't be. I made meatloaf and mashed potatoes for dinner, and it was delicious. Whatever. Yeah, I don't love Aladdin myself. It's not one of my favorite Genesis games. I appreciate it a lot, but that was one of the reasons it fell off my list fairly early in the conversations. But yeah. Okay.
Wonderful.
All right. Well, I guess I'll go next. This one...
Everything without a hitch.
Boy, this one, yeah, without a hitch. This one, I I really spent some time on, and I could not bring myself to remove this game from the list, even though I don't agree with the price. But
okay.
As much as I looked at the things that I removed in favor of keeping it, I couldn't find something else that I felt was overall more worthy. So at $25, Earthworm Gym.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I considered it.
See, now you could do. We had a bunch of people in the Discord throw the cardboard box version of Earthworm Gym 2 in there, which was like $5.
Right.
But Earthworm Gym 2 is not Earthworm Gym 1. And
it just isn't.
I mean, at least I've never felt so. I love Earthworm Gym 2, but I kind of feel like that one is hands down, no question, better on the Super Nintendo. Whereas the first Earthworm Gym is easily argued that it's better on Genesis. There are things about the Super Nintendo one I like better, but the Genesis one has that extra level. It's a really good Genesis game. It's a great version of one of the 16-bit classics. And if you're going to get one version of Earthworm Jim, I feel like this is the one to go with. Especially if you've got that a 6-button controller going on. It plays really well no matter which platform you're running it on. But the music is great. Good job, Tommy. The music is excellent. The level design is super creative. The game looks great. It sounds great. It's got a lot of funky voiceovers and stuff, cheat codes, silly weapons, great animations. It was a huge success when it first launched on both Super Nintendo and Genesis. Spawned a couple of sequels, an animated series. Like, Earthworm Jim was such a big deal back then, and
it really was.
It's not now.
Nope. Never gonna be again.
It's definitely. I mean, well, we won't know until that Amico Earthworm Jim game comes out. We won't know for sure.
Never gonna be again. I'm just gonna go ahead and put that out there.
Yeah, Earthworm Jim is such a good game, and like I kept looking at, man, there are other games I really want to put on there, and the closest I came to being like, all right, a similar experience for a fraction of the price would be Cool Spot at $8.
I am shocked you did not put Cool Spot on there.
And that was kind of like what Earthworm Jim's what knocked it off, because Cool Spot and Earthworm Jim are such similar games. And
yeah, surprisingly enough, they really are.
They have a lot of design philosophy in common, but Jim's a better game.
Much.
I love Cool Spot. But if I had to pick a version of Cool Spot, I go with the Super Nintendo version. And I mean, $8 as opposed to 25. But I mean, Earthworm Jim's Earthworm Jim, and I had to do it. I could have put other cool things on there with that money, but I felt like I made the right call with Earthworm Jim.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really argue with Earthworm Jim. I mean, it didn't make my list. I really thought about it though. But I'm still angry at Tommy, so it didn't. It's really my rationale behind it. I can't argue with the pick though.
Yeah, it was not an easy choice, and I'm not 100% sure that I made the right one, but it is what it is. And that is what it is.
Yeah.
And I wasn't the only one. I'm scrolling back through the lists that people gave us on Discord, and somebody else put the original Earthworm Jim on there too. So I feel vindicated.
Yeah, it was definitely hard to leave off because it is very quintessential of that era, and I think you're absolutely right. The first version the first game on the Genesis it's really good. It's really good.
It is really good. I mean, there's an argument to be made that like the Sega CD version is kind of like the definitive one, but that game's stupid expensive. And we're not doing Sega CD right now.
And we're not doing Sega CD this week, so
God, are we doing that at all? I hope it's terrifying.
Yeah, Sega CD is in 3 months. Next month is Super Nintendo, which should be really easy.
That'll be a nice 5-minute episode.
Yeah, then Game Boy Color, then Sega CD. If you remember, just going a little inside baseball here, I tried to leave the Sega CD off.
Right, but then we needed to make it 2 years.
No, we need to do 2 straight years of this. It was like, all right, well, Sega CD and 32X are making the cut then.
Wow, 32X is getting its own episode?
It gets its own episode. So what we've got left.
This was a terrible idea.
I know. I tried to cut it down. You were like, "Fuck that, let's do it." We've got Game Boy Color, Super Nintendo, Game Boy Color, Sega CD, 32X, Jaguar, Virtual Boy, so you can have like a game, Saturn, PSX or the PlayStation 1, N64, Dreamcast, Neo Geo, Pocket Color, PS2, Game Boy Advance, GameCube, and Xbox.
Wow. It's going to be a fun 2 years.
Yeah,
we might need to revise some of that shit, but
there's a little bit of a lull there in the Sega CD, 32X, Jaguar, Virtual Boy section, but whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, there's going to be some fun conversations, but we'll see what happens. All right, there's my second pick. What's your second pick, sir?
My second pick, I don't think would make, if you gave this list to a lot of people, I don't know that this would make a lot of people's lists, but I really love Kid Chameleon, and it's $11. And I think it's such an interestingly unique little platformer. It's really fucking cool. It's a really cool game. It is a basic 2D action game with some really, just some really cool abilities, all the different, like, costumes that you change into, I guess, the Iron Knight and the fucking the Maniacs. That's my dude. I love Maniacs. The fucking Cyclops, you ride a hoverboard. It's so 90s. It's such a 90s game. Even from the cover, it's just I love this game. What did we play this for? We played this.
It must have been for a summer series, I think. I didn't love this game. I mean,
I know you don't. Yeah, I do.
Didn't click with me, which is why I didn't even consider it. I know a lot of people do love this game. I think it's one of those situations where I like the concept of it way more than I like the actual game. But it is a pretty important piece of Sega Genesis history right there. This is one of those games that pretty much everybody has, and it is a good price. Yeah. So I certainly don't. $11. Yeah, I don't blame you for throwing it on your. I'll throw it on your list, but it definitely didn't make mine.
Like I said, I had two games that these are definitive. They have to be on here. If they're not on here, what am I even doing? And then I had to kind of build around that.
Yeah, I did. Made a big old list of a bunch of stuff, and then I was like, "Well, that's not even close."
That's $900.
I started paring it down. All right, this next one absolutely had to make my list. I had to go with the PAL version to save myself a couple of bucks. I think the US version was like 12 or 13 or something. But for $7, the PAL version, which plays on a Sega Genesis in the American territories, is Echo the Dolphin.
Oh, fuck you. I hate you so much.
I know. It's just one of those games that's like, when I think of the Sega Genesis, it's one of the first games that pops into my head because the game's nuts, man, but there's nothing like it. I've never played anything quite like it before. And like that's the game that I spent the most time with on the Nintendo Switch Online, as a matter of fact. Like, that game with a rewind feature is great, and I'm totally going to finally beat that game, like, for reals. And
great is such a strong word to use for Echo the Dolphin.
I love the look of this game so much. Its visuals are... There's something so specifically colorful about the way this game looks. And, like, this would not... It's such a great example of a game that just would not work the same, feel the same, look the same, sound the same on a Super Nintendo. I would love to see a Super Nintendo version of Echo the Dolphin just to see what it would be like. But, I mean... The music in this game is unreal, and the use of color is just spectacular, and it's really freaking weird, but it is such a quintessential Genesis game, and I couldn't leave this one off my list. I did take it off before I remembered that PAL games work in a US Genesis. I was like, oh, I can save a couple of bucks! And then I rejiggered everything to get Echo back on there, and as you know, I definitely left off some other hits in favor of getting Echo on there, but I think that it was the right call. I love this game, and it was one of the things that made me jealous of my Genesis owning friends back in the day, was that this game was on their system and not mine. But yeah,
I did not have the problem of trying to find a way to get Echo the Dolphin on my list. That was not an issue that I ran into, shockingly enough. So my third game was one of the must-haves.
Oh.
I believe it is a must-have for like legitimately. If you're making a list of Sega Genesis games and this is not on there, go fuck yourself. It's $11 and it's NHL 94. It's NHL 94.
Yes, it is.
It may be the greatest sports game ever made. It is perfect in every which way. There is nothing bad about this game other than the fact that I'm not playing it right now. This game is so good that they released a version of it last year as a pre-order bonus for NHL 2020. And the only way you could get it was by pre-ordering a game that you didn't want even a little bit. You can't get that version of NHL 94 anymore. And they specifically picked 94 because it played so perfectly. The roster was outstanding that year. It's just among the most fun you can have playing video games.
It's actually not on my list.
That is absurd.
Which you will find out why soon. But
absurd.
It was up for consideration pretty quickly on my list. But I don't have the same connection to NHL 94 that most people do. So it definitely it missed my list at that price. And I think I can defend my choice pretty well.
I mean, Hartford, the whale. This happens once, maybe twice in a lifetime.
Thank you.
Not
Brody.
anymore. They don't even have a fucking team anymore. But whatever.
Well, they did in '94, or when did Mallrats release?
I don't know.
He was playing a Saturn.
96. Was he?
He was totally playing a Sega Saturn.
I don't remember. Does Hartford have a team anymore? I don't remember, Chris. I don't think they do. I think they moved to like. Fuck, I don't even remember.
Yeah, ask me sports questions.
I know how big of a Hartford Whalers guy you were, though.
Absolutely. No question.
What a shitty name, too. The Whalers? Like, that's such a terrible thing.
We're going to play some hockey, and then we're going to go out and murder some whales.
Right? They moved to Carolina in 1997. They became the Carolina Hurricanes. Yeah, they played up until 97. Yeah, they were Whalers, and now they're Hurricanes. Like, you guys, you're not really getting this, are you?
I mean, like, at least the Hurricane one I get, at least. You know, like, they're like, all right, it's a force to be reckoned with. You don't want to go out there and fuck with a Hurricane. All right, I'll fuck with some Whalers.
I do want to go murder some whales, apparently. Their fucking mascot was so great. His name was Pucky. Pucky the whale. Because he's like a puck.
They had a whale as a mascot?
Yeah.
Did they they go out there and
they murdered him every game? Yeah, in between periods, they would fucking sacrifice whoever was playing Pucky that week.
That's like a pig promoting bacon. It's like, there's just something wrong with it.
This is awesome.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, love the whale.
Okay. My next one is another pal cheat, as it were. It only saved me a couple of dollars, but it was the couple of dollars I needed. And it's well worth it as far as I remember. Now, I haven't played this game in years, but my friend Adam, who was a Genesis owner, had this game, and we played it all the time, and I loved this game, and that is General Chaos for $12.
General Chaos is dope. It's a good game.
I remember almost nothing about it, except for that we played so much of it, and it was some sort of like strategy thing with a lot of like really creative ways of killing each other.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. Like, I really, really loved this game. But I don't think I ever spent any time playing it single player, but it's so good local multiplayer. And since I haven't had anybody to play it with in literal decades, I can't say how well it holds up. I know it still has a pretty decent fan following. Like, I think one of the guys who created the game in the first place was like trying to get a sequel made or something, but
yeah, that's one of those games where it's like, that's really when you talk about like hidden gems, You know what I mean? That's really one of them. But you're right. It only works multiplayer. Like that is not a single player game. You play that multiplayer, it's fucking great, and you're gonna have a blast. And then you play it on your own, and you're like, "What am I even doing with my life?
What the hell is this?
This is nonsense. General chaos. Get it? Because it's like chaos in general, but also army.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are smart.
They nailed it. Really nailed it. No, really. As far as like local multiplayer stuff, that was something that the Genesis did very well. Was 2-player games. And I have a bunch more of them on the list too. In fact, I think all the rest of my games have local multiplayer components in them. So that's that. There you go.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, all right then.
Should be an interesting rest of the show.
Should be, yes.
But yes, the PAL version is all of $12, and you're right. It is a hidden gem. It was originally published by EA, but I don't think they have any claim to it anymore. It's, as far as I know, it's never been re-released anywhere either. So.
I don't think it has. Sorry, I was drinking a delicious beer brought to me by the wonderful Matt Much.
What a great man.
Yeah, at Evan's wedding. It was really nice for me to get presents on somebody else's day. I really enjoyed that part of it. It was really great.
Yes, it has only been released on Sega Genesis. It's never been.
That's so wild, man.
Never been re-released.
That's really, really wild. All right, well, my last game before the break would be the $10 Road Rash. I really, really liked Road Rash.
That was definitely a consideration, yeah.
Right, because that also felt very much like this is a Genesis game.
Oh, for sure. I mean, was there one on Super Nintendo? I know that eventually came to N64, but I can't remember if Road Rash has Super NES.
I don't remember if it did, because it wasn't a Super Nintendo game. It was a Genesis game.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, this was, again, another Electronics Arts joint, as the kids say. I was just so much fun, man. You know, like, because we had grown up on, racing games. And now this was a racing game where I could punch somebody. Like, all right, sweet. I can punch and kick people as I'm driving by on a super fast motorcycle. Is great. I love everything about this. Yes, 100%. And for $10, I mean, yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Hundo P, as the kids say.
Do they?
I don't know.
Actually,
you know what? No, old white dudes say Hundo P, I think.
Old white dudes like us.
They do like us.
They do. They really do. That's like our wheelhouse, man.
Yeah, I love the idea of Road Rash a little bit more than its execution. I played a bunch of the second one. Road Rash 2 was the one that I spent the most time with. And
there's definitely some frustration in the controls and whatnot. But
yeah,
I didn't know that when I was a kid. I didn't know that. So this is more on the nostalgia aspect of it. And if you can get past that part, it's a blast.
Yeah, my issue with it was how choppy it felt to roll around after playing stuff on the Super Nintendo with Mode 7. Like,
sure,
I had played F-Zero before I had played Road Rash, and then going back to something that felt, I mean, it moved more choppy than stuff like even Rad Racer did, or even like Outrun on Master System. It just had this really, really chunky way of moving around. But I did really enjoy the time I spent at my friend Dan's house with Road Rash 2. But like that was the thing. We played Road Rash 2 a bunch, and then he showed me Top Gear and Top Gear 2 on Super Nintendo, and then we never went back to Road Rash. He's like, "Oh, but you can beat people with chains." I'm like, "Yes, but this is great." Yeah,
but chains, you can hit people with them.
That's awesome, but this is great. So, yeah. No, Road Rash, I did consider Road Rash 2, which was only $2 more at 12, but it fell off my list.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. Well, that's the halfway point. Let's see. Quick recap. I have the 6-pack, which includes Golden Axe, Sonic 1, Columns, Revenge of Shinobi, Streets of Rage, and Super Hang-On, Earthworm Gym, Echo the Dolphin, and General Chaos. Dan, what were your picks so far again?
My 4 were Aladdin, Kid Chameleon, NHL 94, and Road Rash.
That is crazy that you're 4 in. You're already up to the little letter R.
Yeah.
And we've had no duplicates so far. So
that's wild.
I'm curious to see where the rest of this is going to go. I think you're going to be surprised by a couple of mine.
Yeah. I thought for sure NHL 94 was getting on your list.
Well, we'll find out what happens after the break. You're listening to the Stone Age Gamer podcast from Geekade.com. Stick around. And now, here's a quick look at some of the other original content available now from our partners and Geekade.com.
First up, instruction manuals. I love them. You love them. We all love them. But also, we all miss them dearly. Like my arm that I lost in the war. With video games these days telling you how to play them right in the games themselves, the noble art of the instruction manual seems to have gone the way of the dodo. But though they may be lost to the sands of time, they are certainly not forgotten. Kris over there, he's gone and made a video counting down his all-time favorite instruction manuals. Are they the best, or is he just nuts?
Yes.
Find out in the Stone Age countdown, because there's a capital A-N-G. Top 5 instruction manuals available now on the Stone Age Gamer YouTube channel.
I had a lot of fun making that video.
I'm sure you did.
I put way too much effort into it.
WNBC. That's what I saw, the way you wrote Stone Age countdown.
Just wanted to see if you'd say it. It wasn't a typo. It's not like I did this really fast this afternoon. There was a lot of stuff going on. Next up, you've heard of Black Friday, but what if you're looking for something a bit more color in your sales?
Racist.
Well,
love it. Let's go with it.
Stone Age.
Yep, there it is again.
Mistake twice. Stone Age Gamers got you covered.
You were an editor.
Yeah, but I didn't edit this. I just wrote it. Seriously, I did no editing. This was single take, just write it as fast as you can, get it done. So you've got Black Friday coming up, but it's November, and we're doing another sale, so we're doing Turquoise Friday.
Ooh, I love turquoise.
Yeah. Now, as much as I pushed, we did not wind up with a Chartreuse Friday, which is always a shame, because Chartreuse is possibly the funniest color name, with the exception of Periwinkle.
But, Periwinkle is pretty good. But it would be more like a Periwinkle Tuesday sale.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
Yeah.
But Turquoise Friday is coming, and it's gonna have a discount on the Dreamcast Builder, a big deal on our Game Boy EverDrive bundles that comes with the McWill mod for the screen. Which is super awesome, especially if you ordered or were able to get a pocket. The fucking thing. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do that.
But yes, that's that, and it's got a whole bunch more, some controllers, other accessories like the Jag 2 SNES, a bunch of stuff's on sale. The prices for Turquoise Friday will be valid until Sunday, November 7th, 2021 at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Get them while they're turquoise. It's Turquoise Friday, Dan. It's totally a thing.
No, it's a huge thing.
That is a
big
thing.
Deal. Everybody's been talking about it for years, and we're finally letting in all the lay people.
That's right.
Into Turquoise Friday. All the normies.
Don't miss the digital doorbusters.
Don't.
Break down our digital door.
That's right. Click our digital... I don't know. Finally, I was trying not to talk about my testicles again, Kris. It's really came down to...
They're turquoise.
They are. It's been a couple of weeks. Finally, she was sick. Halloween may be over, but that doesn't mean you can't still listen. I'm a caring husband, you know. Halloween's over. That doesn't mean you can't still listen to some spooky music if you want to. Thankfully, Kris and Matt, this is all really, you weren't kidding. This really is all about you self-centered fuck. Kris and Matt gathered together to uphold their annual tradition of assembling the spookiest video game music around and discussing it in podcast form. This time, though, the bulk of the tunes were picked by you, the listener. And if you aren't a listener, well, in this playlist should still come a squirt of surprise to you. That's right. I don't know what that means, but I'm super into it.
Wow, what did I try to write there? Let's see.
I don't know. There's something about squirting, Kris.
Should come a squirt?
A squirt, a surprise to you. I feel like
I just clicked it and auto-corrected it. It said come as a surprise to you, and that makes a lot more sense.
That makes so much more sense.
Yeah. I
feel like we just got like a fucking window into your porn search, and like I'm cool with it.
Interesting.
Just,
tunes, which is clearly supposed to be tunes. If I click that, it autocorrects to tribunes.
It's the Icelandic version of tunes.
It's like iTunes with dyslexia.
Either way, be sure to check out Waveback episode 139, the 7th annual Spooky Special.
7 years.
7 goddamn years, Kris.
Yeah, 7 years
of
the
squirt.
Waveback podcast. It's a lot of squirty music.
A lot of squirt. Oh, Jesus Christ.
For all this great content and more from us and our partners, be sure to keep your eyes on geekade.squirt.
Oh, Jesus. That was almost some Reptar juice all over my computer.
All right. Let's get back to business.
I've been back. Where you been? Freaking late.
Just thinking about Tombstone pizzas.
God damn it.
Wishing I had some chicken-flavored air conditioning. Welcome back, everybody. We are halfway through our Stone Age starter kits for the Sega Genesis. We had $100 to spend. Dan and I have spent a decent chunk of change so far. Let's see what we've got left in the tank. I'll go first since I have 5 left and you have 4. And this was my throwaway game. I had $5 left, and I didn't know what else to spend it on. I had some other great choices for $6, but I only had 5. So I went with another game that I equate with the Sega Genesis is John Madden Football. So I chose Madden 95.
Yeah, I mean, that's... If you're going to pick one of them, that is a Madden game to pick.
They're pretty interchangeable to me, but I do remember actually having fun with them. And I don't really like football all that much, but those classic Genesis ones before they got super complicated with like the following generation, like you could still just kind of play some football, and it was pretty fun. And it was $5.
No, they were good.
And I can't believe they're up to $5. Like,
well, that's the absurd part.
That's the absurd part right there.
I really did consider, and like you could throw this on my list right now because I still have $5. There you go. We have a dupe. Madden 95 is pretty good.
That's what I figured was going to happen when I got to this. Was like, yeah, $5. You had 5 left, so there.
Yeah,
Madden 95.
That works. There you go. I have 9 games as well.
Because I mean, really, the Sega Genesis was such a sports game machine. Like,
it really
most
was.
of them did come out on the Super Nintendo as well. And I know there's something to be said for the sports talk football, but I was blown away by sports talk football. Blown away. I shouldn't have been. I considered doing that one instead, but since Madden is such an important legacy, and that's the one that kept going, I decided to stick with Madden. So there it is, Madden 95 for $5.
All right. Well, my next game on my list, game number 6 now, would be the not my favorite franchise in the world, but again, if you're making a Sega Genesis list and you don't have a Sonic game on there, I feel like you're just fucking it up. So Sonic 2 is $7. And of the Sonic games, that would be the one that I would pick. Not just because it was $7, but because it's the one I had the most fun with.
Yeah, Sonic 2 is great. It is a very excellent choice. It's also on my list.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
A couple games away, but yeah, it's on my list, but I picked the PAL version because it was $4.
Oh shit. I should have went with the PAL version. See, I didn't even think of that until we started talking about it, because I sat here to make my list. I also had to make a PowerPoint presentation for my aunt, who is or my aunt, she's doing like a presentation at work, and she needed it by tomorrow morning, and she told me she needed it by tomorrow morning at 5:00 today.
Uh-huh.
She was like, "Oh, you can do this, right? This isn't hard." And I was like, "It's not." But like I do have other things to do.
It's not that it's hard. It is that it does take some time.
It does, like, and it was a really nice presentation that I put together. She was very happy with it, but still, I was like, I wanted to like kind of refresh my list a little bit and check prices, and I didn't do any of that. So, but yeah, I mean, Sonic 2 is Sonic 2. You know what I mean? Like, it's great. Like I said, I am not a fan of the Sonic the Hedgehog games. Never really have been, but I had a lot of fun with Sonic 2. The level design's really good, music's good. Tails, what more do you need?
Yeah, I mean, Sonic 2 is an all-time classic, and it's which is why it made it onto my list. Again, for the $4 for the PAL version, but yeah, Sonic 2. Even though I had Sonic 1 on there, I would have skipped Sonic 2 because of the 6-pack up there. But
yeah, that's why I'm surprised it made your list.
Well, it was $4, and I was like, I had skipped it initially, and then I was like, well, I have a little bit of money left, and I could take Madden out and put some other stuff in, put something else in, or I could keep Madden, which I think is kind of an important representation of what the Genesis was all about, and also include the PAL version of Sonic 2. So that's how my math worked out.
There you go. Makes sense to me, man.
All right. Well, then, my next pick is going to be for $6. I think one of the best multiplayer games of the 16-bit generation, and I believe the Genesis version is pretty solid on this, and that would be the original NBA Jam.
Ooh, almost made my list. Did think about it. Game's super fun.
It's
just super fun.
It's so good, and it's so indicative of the kind of fun that was happening in this era of gaming. I mean, I played a ton of it with my neighbor James on Super Nintendo, and I just kind of assume the Genesis version's pretty much the same. I
believe it is.
I can't imagine it's much different. The arcade original is fantastic, but I didn't play that until way later. The home conversions of this NBA Jam is such a fun game, and it's not like basketball at all,
which is crazy.
Just not a fan of the sport. I don't like watching it. I don't like playing it, but damn, though, I like playing NBA Jam. Game is so much fun. The stupid voiceovers, the catching on fire, the ridiculous cheat codes with the big heads and Bill Clinton and stuff.
Oh, it was that was the part that I think really like set it off. Of like, you've just got these insane special appearances in this game, and it's just so fun, and it was all tongue in cheek. It was just great.
Yeah, it was. It's just such a fun game to play, and yeah, it had such a distinct personality because all those extra characters and stuff that you could unlock in there, and they didn't do anything. It was just like, look, I'm running around as a big-headed Bill Clinton. Isn't that hilarious? Like, but
he's on fire, and you're just like doing crazy dunks with Bill Clinton and like draining threes with fucking Al Gore.
But like, that's the thing. Even if you take that stuff out, like even once the novelty wore off, the game itself was still fun. Like doing those crazy, like a half-court dunk, like. You just jump into the air and flip around a whole bunch of times and destroy the backboard. Like, it's amazing. It's just...
it was such a good time, too, because, like, I mean, I love basketball. Like, don't get me wrong. I love basketball. It is not as much fun currently in real life as it was back then. Like, right now, the game has really become all about three-point shooters. So you don't have dudes going in there and just doing the big crazy dunks and whatnot. I mean, you get it a little bit, but so much of the game is about ball control, ball movement, and then ultimately, 3-point shots, which is really fun to watch, and it's a really interesting version of the game. But like baseball and football, analytics is trying to ruin the game for everybody because what I really think happened, Kris, is that a bunch of nerds were like really upset about being nerds for their whole lives and being like, you guys fucking made fun of us forever, so now we're gonna come in here and ruin your sports, you dumb jocks. Like, that's really what it feels like. So it's the worst in baseball because they're just fucking killing the game.
I mean, it's called. I feel like it stems from sports betting, right? Like that's just become such a thing.
It really has to. It's getting much worse now that it's like legal in Jersey and Connecticut.
And it's
I mean, like,
everywhere.
it's
Online sports
everywhere.
betting you see ads for it constantly.
Oh, you should try listening to fucking sports talk radio for like 5 minutes. You'll get 78 ads. It's fucking insane. They talk about the spreads and who's going to cover and this and that. And it's a lot. It's a lot. And it wasn't like that back then. This was, like, there were the rosters back then. I'm just going to take Patrick Ewing or fucking Karl Malone and just wreck house. That was the team, by the way, the fucking Utah Jazz team with Karl Malone and then John Stockton raining threes from the fucking perimeter. That was where it was at. Oh, so good. I want to go play NBA Jam right now. I should have put it on my list. I'm sad I didn't.
Game's a blast, man. It's an absolute blast. Love that game.
Well, like, and I could have put it on my list because the next game that I have on my list, I really love, and I think people should play because I think it's really interesting. I know this would not make, I don't think, anybody else's list, but it was $7, and that is Spider-Man. I fucking love the Genesis Spider-Man game. I really, really love it. Yeah, like, that's not going to make a lot of people's lists.
No, you're not. It's not, but it is a really good historical piece there. Like,
I thought so. Right?
It's a very Sega game. It was an exclusive, and it's a really good picture of what superhero games used to be.
Yeah, and they were. I mean, you play superhero games now. I mean, you play the Spider-Man games now, and you're flipping all over the place and web slinging and all of that, and then you go back and look at what they came from. And the games were still fun back then, but they were so different.
Yeah.
And
far
I
more limited.
really like this one. So much more limited, but I really like the art style in it. I like the, it looks to me back again, looking at it through a nostalgia lens, it looked like a comic book come to life.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my God, this looks just like the comic. And it doesn't. But, if you squint a little bit, or drink a lot, it looks just like the comic book, and it controlled pretty well. Like you were limited in what you could do as Spider-Man, but you got to fight Venom, and like it had cool villains, and it was just this really awesome kind of time capsule of what superhero games were. And for $7, I think it is absolutely worth playing through.
Yeah, I mean, like, you just couldn't. This is one of those examples of a type of game that really became what it, like, they really, really evolved when they became 3D and became more of what they should be. Spider-Man games in particular. Like, once you had the freedom of 3 dimensions, you could finally feel like Spider-Man in a Spider-Man game.
Yeah. I mean, once you get to that PlayStation Neversoft Spider-Man game, that was the first time where it was like, this is just mind-blowing.
100%, yeah. Hundo P, Dan.
Hundo P, that's right. Hundo P, as the kids say.
Oh my God, there's something wrong with it. There's something wrong with us.
Yes.
Sorry, I have to write that one down. As the kids say. That might have to be the episode title. Anyway,
I think for sure.
Well, I mean, it's between that and Get Back to My Nether Region, so.
I mean, I'm a big fan of my Nether Region, so.
Who isn't?
As was everybody else.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right. Well, all right. So I guess I'll make my next pick. Spider-Man, solid move. My next pick coming in at $5 was NHL 95. Because right. I know NHL 94 is the one, but I could not, if you didn't show me the title screen, I couldn't pick one of them out of a lineup.
Sure.
I played NHL PA 93 all the time for my Super Nintendo. I don't know what made 94 in specific so special that that's the one that everyone gravitates toward.
Just perfect.
I just don't know that 95 was different enough to warrant doubling the price for the 94 one, because that one's the one that has the name now. Like,
right
now it's, oh no, NHL 94, that's the best one. Like, well, how different was 95? I don't think it was very different. I mean, I could be very wrong, but I don't think it was very different. I remember when these games were coming out, my sister was buying them on Super Nintendo, and like, they all seemed to play pretty basically similar to me. So unless I'm just incredibly wrong, which I very much could be, I will admit that I very much could be, but I think that there wasn't a huge difference between NHL 94 and 95, and to be able to get it on my list at $5 instead of, what was it, 10?
Yeah,
I
11.
mean, 11. That got me Madden 95 on the list too. So
yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
yeah, I felt it was a worthy price cut, so that you had to have an NHL game on there,
Right.
because the NHL games on Genesis were awesome. But you know, I like I said, I couldn't pick them out of a lineup, so I went with 95 because it was the cheapest one before it got complicated later on. And yeah, there's my pick.
All right.
NHL 95.
I mean, that's NHL 95 is still pretty good. 94 is better, but 95 is good.
Is it twice the price better? I don't know.
Yes. Hartford, the whale. Happens once, twice in a lifetime. My second to last game, my penultimate game, Chris. Penultimate.
I guess you're going last now because we duplicated on Sonic 2.
We did duplicate. We might duplicate the last one. I don't know.
I think we will.
I think so. Like, I'm pretty sure we're going to. But this was the other must-have. Like, started my list. This was actually, it was this one, then NHL 94. And unfortunately, it is $24. But you have to have Streets of Rage 2. You just have to. It is the best game in the Streets of Rage series. I mean, certainly up until 4 came out, and I think there is a debate to be had about that now. But it was such a step up from the original Streets of Rage, which was great. The original Streets of Rage is awesome. Streets of Rage 2 was everything that was great about the first one, just amped up even more. The new characters were great. Fucking Skate, that's your dude right there, right? Like, you just rolling around, rollerblades, was awesome. Fuck it. Yeah, it's fucking Streets of Rage 2, man.
I mean, you're right. It is definitely
I know
Streets of
I am.
Rage 2. I didn't.
Streets of Rage 2.
I personally have more of a connection to the first one. I do think you're 100% right. Streets of Rage 2 is a massive improvement over the first one, but the first one's also great, and I already had that one in the 6-pack. So it's like,
yeah,
I didn't even consider Streets of Rage 2 when I saw the price. I was like, nope, not at that price. Sorry. I got other games that I really need to hit that are more different. So, but yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue against Streets of Rage 2 against a freaking masterpiece.
It really is. I mean, great music. I liked the creativity in it. Like, there's a lot of really cool stages in here. You're not just walking through, Streets of Rage. You're walking through a baseball stadium of rage, and amusement park of rage. And there's a bunch of like weird shit. I really like this game a whole lot. It's a great co-op game. Just a great co-op game.
That it is.
I see what you're saying with the first Streets of Rage. The action pack is a good choice. But man, Streets of Rage 2.
Yeah, I didn't feel great about leaving that one off the list. But, like we're going to find out next month with our Super Nintendo list, like, there's just...
There has to be cuts.
Yeah, exactly. You got to make sacrifices to make the thing work. You have to sacrifice a goat every now and then.
You do. I do it constantly.
Backyard's a mess.
Lousy with goat sacrifices.
That is a lot of goat carcasses.
That's why I have so many dogs. You gotta fucking clean them up. Anyway.
Gotta feed them something.
Yeah.
Dead goats.
Not buying dog food. Ugh. That's a fucking racket.
Stuff's not made of any goats.
No. There's no goat in that. I fucking looked. I check every bag.
Oh, good lord. All right, well.
Items goat free. No goat in that one. That's fucking weird. I fucking know.
I think it was something like Iams. I mean, it kind of sounds like a goat noise.
It does. Not even a little bit, but yeah, let's go with that.
Sure, why not?
Goats constantly walking around just like,
Iams.
Iams. Iams. Almost sounds like they're saying
rectangular
L'chaim.
Pupils.
Yeah.
Fucking goats.
It's very weird. Jewish goats. L'chaim. It's very strange.
Well, that brings me to my last pick, and I'm going to go ahead and assume it was your last pick, too. This was one that I also had I couldn't budge on. And Zoop, 100%.
Obviously.
Hundo P.
Hundo P.
No, my remaining $24 goes to Toe Jam and Earl.
You got it for 24. You did not check the price today, or I really miscalculated the price.
Toe Jam and Earl, Sega Genesis, $24.20. But you also have the PAL Mega Drive one, which is currently at $20. So,
what the fuck did I look at?
I have no idea.
Because I had it at 16.
16?
Yeah.
The second one, Panic on Funkatron.
Oh, yeah. Fuck, that's what I looked at.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it. All right, well, fuck it. I'm sticking with it. You had to have some flavor of Toe Jam and Earl. God damn it. I totally fucked that up. I'm sorry. Shit. All right, let me change it. That $24. I just talk. Vamp.
I'll just talk about how much I love Toe Jam and Earl.
It's so good.
It's a great game, and it's a quintessential Genesis game. It's fun one player. It's a blast two player. It's incredibly unique. It looks good.
I mean,
it's got graphics.
It looks. All right, I had to take off Spider-Man. Never mind.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
A worthy sacrifice.
Yeah, no, it's fucking Toe Jam and Earl.
Yeah, it is an absolute classic. It is one of the games that I always think of when I think of the Genesis. It's one of the first games that pops into my head. Fantastic character design, such a great personality. It's a goofy ass game. I love it to death, and I had to have it, and it was man.
It's such a weird ass game. Like, it's so weird. It makes no sense,
right?
At all.
It's super
It just
bizarre.
Doesn't make any goddamn sense. It doesn't make any sense that it got made, right? Like, how do you pitch that game?
How do you pitch Echo the Dolphin? Sega was just like, oh, you got some weird shit to make? Go to town.
Do it.
Nah, this game's about a dolphin, and it's like, all right, go ahead and make it. It's like, no, it's about a dolphin, and it's about time travel, and all kinds of. We already said go. Stop talking, or we're gonna say no.
Stop talking, or I'm gonna take it back.
All right, we got these two funky aliens, and their spaceship is in a bunch of pieces, and you got to travel the Earth to find them. Sold. Go for it.
Sold. Do it. All right, but what about an elevator? Stop fucking talking.
Yeah, no, we already said yes. You want to? Yeah, cool. Add more elevators. What about like cheerleaders and stuff? Yeah, go crazy.
Done. Sold.
You got any more crack back there?
Yeah, I mean, it's just such a wild ass game, man. It really, to this day, there is nothing like Toe Jam and Earl.
The only thing like Toe Jam and Earl is that new Back in the Groove, which is very much like Toe Jam and Earl. But that's it.
Yeah, it's just got a personality so unique.
Even 2 and 3 are not like Toe Jam and Earl.
No, they're really not. They're really, really not. They don't have the same charm. I mean, they have some of the same personality, but it was missing a lot of the charm.
And they're just very different gameplay experiences. And in particular, 2 and 3 were not the games that they wanted to make. Like,
no.
2 was like, Sega was like, all right, we're going to make a Toe Jam and Earl sequel. They're like, yeah, all right, we got these ideas. Like, but it's got to be a side scroller because that's what the kids like these days.
Fuck.
And I think something similar happened with Toe Jam and Earl 3. I can't remember the story on that one. I just know I remember before, because I kickstarted that Back in the Groove, and like we were finally making the sequel we wanted to make. Because while we will always love what we did with Panic on Funkatron and Toe Jam and Earl 3, they were not the games that we wanted to make. So I'm damn proud of them for was it Human Nature Studios? Is that what they're called?
So yeah.
Toe Jam and Earl Back in the Groove was great.
It was great. It was really, really great. And it's just like, I mean, this was one of those games where it didn't do a lot of hand holding. It just kind of dumped you in the world and asked you to figure it out. But the journey to figuring it out was just so much fun, and it was just so weird and different. And like, I don't know, I'm just going to fucking walk around and think about shit for a little bit. And listen to some funky music, and there's just weird characters, and I don't even know what's happening anymore, but like, oh, look, there's a spaceship piece. Holy shit. Go get it.
I still don't fully understand the way the game works, and I've played a lot of it. Karen's really good at it. She spent a ton of time with this game with her sister when they were kids. I'll still play it and be like, I don't know what I'm doing, but it's fun.
I'll get it. Yeah, and it's one of those games too that really is like, I mean, it was so neutral, you know, like it wasn't for anyone in particular, which made it for everybody. You know, like this was one of those games that no matter what type of quote unquote gamer you are, you can enjoy Toe Jam and Earl.
That is 100%. That is Hundo P correct, sir.
That is Hundo P correct. And those games are so rare.
Yeah.
It's so rare that you get a game that literally anybody could find some joy in. Because there's so many different aspects that make up this fucking whole that is Toe Jam and Earl. Some melange of awesome.
Yeah, like my kids, like I got my nephew that Sega Genesis Mini a few years ago.
Yeah.
And like they played a ton of Toe Jam and Earl. Like every time John would come over, they just play Toe Jam and Earl and be like, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, you fell off the side. That's hilarious. Let's go on the elevator. There's
just walk around.
Exactly. Just walk around and try and figure shit out. It's hilarious. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. It's delightfully
Toe Jam and Earl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Has to be there. All right. Fuck you, Spider-Man. Toe Jam and Earl it is. All right. So I'm back down to 8 games.
Look at that. We've come full circle.
Look at that.
All right. So,
all right. Give me your list.
All right. My full list. 6-pack, Earthworm Gym, Echo the Dolphin, General Chaos, Madden 95, NBA Jam, NHL 95, Sonic 2, and Toe Jam and Earl.
That's a damn good list. All right. I got Aladdin, Kid Chameleon, Madden 95, which was there from the very beginning, NHL 94, Road Rash, Sonic 2, Streets of Rage 2, and Toe Jam and Earl.
All right. So here's what didn't make my cut. These are the games that I considered that didn't make my list. For $8, Cool Spot. For $24, Comic Zone.
Oof, yeah.
Game's cool as hell, but not $24, man.
No, God, no. No, I really wanted to put it on there as well. That's one of the ones that I cut.
That's one of the ones that I'm really waiting for to show up on Nintendo Switch Online so I can have that rewind feature.
Yeah, God, yeah. Then we might actually do it again for a Petathon.
No, definitely not. $10, Altered Beast. I mean, I really wanted to include Altered Beast, but it's at the end of the day, it's a way cooler game than it is a good game. And
oh God, it sucks.
It's really, it
really does suck.
It's got problems.
It's not good.
I
love it.
The one that hurt me the most was $32 goddamn dollars was Rocket Knight Adventures.
Yeah, I know.
I could not justify it, and I tried. I tried to make this list work. It's like I would have to sacrifice too much to get this on there.
Yeah, you really would. And it's really good. It's really good.
It's a phenomenal game, and I do believe it's worth $32, but it's not worth $32 at the expense of everything else that I put on my list.
There's just some really weird Genesis prices.
Yeah, they're definitely going up, and Rocket Knight Adventures is one of those situations where it's like, oh, it's a Konami game that has a cult following that's never been ported to anything ever.
Yeah.
There's a good reason that game shot up in price.
It's a good investment opportunity, kids.
There you go. $6, Eternal Champions, which was really easy to leave off because it's not a great game, but I wanted to put a fighting game on there. But I didn't want to put Mortal Kombat 1 because, yes, it's got the blood, but the game plays like awful ass on the Genesis.
I considered Mortal Kombat 2.
I did too, but that game is way better on Super Nintendo.
Way better. But it was like $11, and I was because I felt the same thing. Like, I want to put a fighting game on here.
And I just don't equate Street Fighter with Genesis. I know it had the special champion edition, but it's like, no, that's a Super Nintendo game. Sorry,
yeah.
It's just like the sports games on Genesis. They're on Super Nintendo, but they're Genesis games.
But they're Genesis games. They just are.
I had to cut X-Men at $10.
Yeah, I thought about that one. I like that game.
Yeah, I like that game. I don't love that game. I mean, I do love that game, but it's not a very good game.
No.
It's got a lot of big problems with it. I had a hard time. All right, $10, fine. You won't make the list. The $7 Ms. Pac-Man is a really solid buy on the Sega Genesis.
I would agree with that.
The Genesis version of Ms. Pac-Man's great.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And then I cut Road Rash 2 was the one that I threw on my list for 12, and that didn't make the cut. Same with the $9 Aladdin. I didn't even consider Castlevania or Contra because those games are astronomical. Same with Ninja Turtles. The Hyperstone Heist
is $88.
Yeah, just fuck you. That game's buy the Castlevania collection on modern consoles. Don't even think about playing it on Genesis. And then the $7 Jurassic Park. Again, it wasn't that hard to cut because it's not a very good game, but it was such a memorable game back then.
Yeah,
and
the
T-Rex
Game Gear one's better.
Saying, Sega.
Yeah, I did like it, man. I did like it.
All right, what did you cut?
So I cut, some of the obvious ones that I wanted to get on there, just because I think they're cool games like Splatterhouse 3, that it's not even close to $78.
Yeah.
Gunstar Heroes, $70.
Yep.
You know, it's like, that's not even going to get close to making it. One of the ones that I was really surprised was as expensive as it is. Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, which is a game that I really do like quite a bit, is $66.
That's nuts. That game ain't worth that.
No, it's really not. And it's a cool game, but I really honestly thought that was going to be like $7-8. You know what I mean? Like I really wasn't expecting it to be that big. Contra Hardcore was $50. Fucking Outrun was $50. I was really surprised about that too. Because I like Outrun.
Isn't the original Outrun on Genesis kind of uncommon though? Like wasn't like Super Outrun or there was there was another version of Outrun I think on Genesis that was way more common.
I don't know. Everybody that I knew that had a Genesis had Outrun. Like I was very shocked that it was $50. Sunset Riders was $48. I really thought about that one. Ghouls and Ghosts was $45.
Oh, yeah. That was an early pick of mine. As soon as I saw it, I was like, fuck you.
Yeah, I was like, $45. Jesus, that's absurd. Like, do not spend that much money on Ghouls and Ghosts. Like, it's good, but, it's not that good. Castle of Illusion was one that I wanted to get on there, but that's $28. Jungle Book was only $6, but I had to cut that. That Jungle Book game's pretty cool. Strider is $16. I ended up cutting that one though. But I do like the Genesis Strider.
Yeah, it's a good game.
It's a really good game.
It's one of the games on Switch Online, actually.
Is it?
Yeah.
There's shit. Yeah, Rocket Knight Adventures was something I was like, you like that game way more than I do, but it's like $32. Can't even do it. And then Dick Tracy. We all know how I feel about that Dick Tracy game, but $31 for that's just not. No, don't do that.
All right, let's see what our listeners had to say. So we've got over on the Discord, we've got Snazums. His list was Disney's Aladdin, Street Fighter 2 Special Champion Edition, NBA Jam, good pick, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the 6-pack, Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles, and Sonic Spinball.
How dare you?
He said, guess you can call this one the Sonic Freak Starter Pack. They're good picks. They're not very varied picks, but
they are.
I love Sonic 3. Sonic 3 is probably my favorite one on the Genesis. All right, let's see. We've got Matt Flaminger, Tiny Matt. That's a good list. We got Quackshot. That was one that I considered for sure.
Yeah,
$19.80. That's pretty spicy, but
it is.
Sonic 2, Castle of Illusion, Desert Strike. I know a lot of people love those games. I never really played them.
Yeah, I did think about Jungle Strike as well. That was one of the other ones.
Toe Jam and Earl, good pick. Sonic Spinball. I really wanted to put Sonic Spinball on there, but I don't like that game past the first level. I love the first level, and I always stop playing after that because I don't like any of the stages after it. And Earthworm Gym 2 at $5.50, the cardboard box version. So,
if you're gonna get an Earthworm Gym 2 is not a bad game.
No, not at all.
It's not.
I had such a hard time justifying putting it on there over the original one because I feel like that one's just so much more iconic.
Yeah.
Alrighty, Chronodin. Let's see. All right, I think I have a list I'm pretty proud of. The Dat Crunchy Genesis sound chip, though, list. Love it. 6-pack, Aladdin, Altered Beast, Earthworm Gym, the cardboard box one, Echo the Dolphin, NBA Jam, Sonic Spinball, Sonic 2, Street Fighter 2, Champion Edition, Vector Man, and X-Men.
Oh, I do like Vector Man.
That was like pretty. There was a lot of stuff that was on both of our lists on there, and
Yeah.
Vector Man, I never understood. I have both of them because I think they're really cool looking games, but I've never spent enough time to really figure them out. Like I wasn't able to get past the first level in the first game, and I wasn't entirely sure why. But they're neat looking games.
Yeah.
Doobity-doo, scrolling. There was some conversation about whether or not the cardboard box version of Earthworm Gym 1 is a thing. Earthworm...
Is it?
I don't know. See, this one says cardboard box Earthworm Gym 1 at 1845. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That would have changed a little bit on my list.
Not too much.
Not too much. That's like 18... So it was 18, so I'd be gaining $7. I could theoretically put the cardboard box version up there loose and then get a $7 Ms. Pac-Man on there, but I don't know how do you differentiate the cardboard box version versus the plastic case version not loose. Like
I don't know. Yeah,
I guess there's got to be a difference in the carts that's noticeable some way, but either way. Let's see here. Doobity doop doop doo. I know there's at least one more down here. There we go. Duroc Pig. We got Sonic 2, 6-pack, Shinobi 3 for $30. Bold move, sir.
That is a bold move. It's a good game.
Solid play. Earthworm Gym for $25. Sonic Spinball. Afterburner 2. All right. And Lotus 2 at $8.41. Yeah, people like those Lotus games.
Yeah, that was pretty good too.
Solid as snake. I haven't even checked price charting, but CIB for my 2 picks is almost a hundo. He said hundo!
Hundo P! It's almost a hundo P.
Yes!
It's catching on.
Good times. Yeah, it's catching on. I know somebody else had one more. I had a conversation with somebody going by the name Seven Granddad popped into our chat for a while this evening.
I saw that, yeah. I was working.
If you are checking out the show, thank you for popping in and having a chat with us. And I hope you're enjoying the show. If you're listening, and haven't turned it off for some reason,
why would you?
All right, let's see. And then the last one. There it is.
Entertainment.
Rob Metzger, our last one.
You got to listen for 5 weeks straight though. Prove that you've listened, and then you get nudes. That's how we keep our listener base.
Oh, good Lord. Let's see. Just want to make sure I was still recording there. I had a little heart attack for a second there. All right, Rob Metzger, a 6-pack, Sonic 2, Sports Talk Football 93. There you go.
There you go.
Truxton Collector's Edition? What the hell is that?
I don't know what that is.
I don't even know what Truxton is. I gotta look this up. All right, what is Truxton? All right, that's a place. Truxton's American Bistro seasonal menu. All right. Truxton video game. There we go. Oh, it's a scrolling shooter.
Oh, cool.
From Taito. I am totally unfamiliar with this game, but okay.
I'm sure you have it.
I actually don't. No, this is not.
Are you sure?
I am sure. I am
okay.
Definitely sure of that one. Huh. Yeah, scrolling shooters. Genesis was good for that. They're just always so expensive. I couldn't think of any really good ones off the top of my head that were worth pushing other stuff off my list. But Mutant League Football for $18.
That's a good choice.
Solid choice right there.
That's a good game.
Sonic Spinball, really Vector Man, Gym 2 Cardboard, NBA Jam, Aladdin, and Hardball 3 for $1.94.
Why not?
Yeah. All right.
Get that baseball game on there.
Cool. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is there's our Stone Age starter kit. This is a lot more interesting than our TurboGrafx one.
Yeah.
The next one we do with Super Nintendo, that's going to be pretty interesting, though, because I mean, most of the good stuff is stupid expensive, but I still feel like we'll be able to find enough hidden gems to make a really solid list on it.
I think so, too. It's just, I'm really worried about that one.
Yeah, because, like, really, the best games on the platform are so just priced out of just priced out of sanity.
Yeah, it just like it's one of those things that just it again continues to amaze me. Some of the prices on these things
that people are still
like
getting.
Games that
people are paying these prices for these. That's what's
like
crazy.
That's the crazy thing about price charting is that this isn't some dick making this up. This is like based on actual real world sales. You know, like, and if you're like, who's paying a fucking $187 for Chrono Trigger loose?
People are. I don't know why.
That's nuts, man.
It is nuts. That's completely insane to me.
It's an amazing game, and it breaks my heart that I'm going to tell you to buy Super Nintendo games, and Chrono Trigger isn't one of them.
Absolutely, but
like, I understand not putting Ogre Battle on there. Like, Ogre Battle has always been expensive.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, that's one of those games that was just always a lot of money. But, like, I'm just looking down the list right now. Like, fucking Mega Man X2, $140 loose? Ew. What's wrong with you?
Let's give ourselves some time. We don't have to have this conversation now. It's only going to make us sad.
Wild. I know. I'm sad already. God damn it.
All right. What are we talking about next week, Dan?
Oh, I don't know. What's next week? Do we have to do the thankful thing again? I don't know. We kind of nailed it a couple weeks ago, or a couple years ago, I mean.
Yeah.
I feel like we kind of hit that one out of the park.
We're not even at Thanksgiving times yet, right?
No.
Let's see.
Oh, we should rank the Castlevania games again and see if our list changes.
Let's rank our ranking episodes. I mean, if we're gonna do the the thankful thing, it probably shouldn't be for another 2 weeks, so that we're right by Thanksgiving.
Like that.
3 weeks even. Oh yeah.
I don't know.
We'll figure something out.
I feel like next week is like a catch up on some news, kind of talk about some shit that's happened. You've got the new Animal Crossing stuff to talk about.
Yeah, I'm hoping I'll be able to play some of that. This week is so freaking crazy for me. The video I'm making this week is on like an Xbox mod, and I don't understand it. I haven't tried it yet, but it seems more complicated than my Atari 2600 brain should be able to handle. But I'm gonna take a swing at it.
All right.
Well, we'll figure that shit out. Meanwhile, that is our show. Join us next time when we do something. We're on most social media platforms, and if you want to get in touch with us, we aren't very difficult to find. All it takes is a quick look at our show notes, and you'll see links to our social media accounts, as well as all manner of other fun stuff, like a link to our namesake, StoneAgeGamer.com, the Geekade Patreon, which helps keep this show running week after week, and more useful links than you can shake a stick at. Somebody else mentioned that Ferg does the "you" thing on his podcast, and that they think it's great. So I'm glad I'm not alone. But then Ferg said he didn't.
Totally stole it from us.
He said he didn't know where he got it from. He definitely didn't steal it from us.
No, 100% he did.
Hundo P, sir.
Sorry, I know. I'm nowhere near as cool as you, Kris.
That's right. I'm the one using the lingo now, bitch.
It's very well established on this show that out of the two of us, you are way more hip than me.
I am definitely the cool one. I am in touch with what the young people say.
You're keeping it 100, Kris, and that's just what you do.
Loud music, hula hoops, and fax machines. That's the one. A few weeks ago, somebody posted on Twitter, like, what's the Mystery Science Theater line that lives rent-free in your head that you say all the time? And I came up with a couple of them, but I knew there was one that I was missing that I say all the time, and it's the kids these days with their loud music, hula hoops, and fax machines. That's the one I say more than any other quote from Mystery Science Theater, and I couldn't come up with it.
That one's pretty good.
Love it. Frank Conniff is a genius. Anyway, this show's theme song, Squared Roots, was written by Banjo Guy Ollie. You can learn all about his wonderful music and more by following the link to his YouTube channel, also in the show notes. And finally, as always, we'd like to thank our intrepid editor, Evan, for getting married and making me edit the show.
Again, so selfish.
What a bastard.
So selfish.
And we know he'll never listen to it because he doesn't listen to this show.
No, God, he has no idea what we're talking about.
And we'd like to thank all you folks for listening in the first place. That is it, everybody. On behalf of Dan and myself, keep playing games.